Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Beldin. Today we're going to be painting a collection of 3 different pieces along with some pipe work. So that's what I'm painting now, is some black pipes. I did a quick shot at the beginning of the base. There was a lot of quick cuts here. There was a lot of small pieces that need to be done, so I tried to make this video a little quicker than some of the other ones because it was such a big build. So right here is the base. I'm currently giving it a nice black base to work from. I'm going to be painting it a light brown, kind of an earth is what I'm looking for. I haven't mentioned it, but this is a piece that consists of Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn. And there's, I think I mentioned a bunch of pipes coming up that I'll be working on, and that's what you're seeing here. So I looked up, and according to some codes, the hazard pipes are painted orange. So I went with an orange theme with this one. I should have went with a white base, I feel like, for the pipes, but my original intention was to make them like a silver and a metal appearance, and you want to do a black base for that, as you see with what I'm doing here now with the motor. And I have some of the other connection pieces that hold it up. There's a big stove that connects to the pipe work, and that's what I'm painting here. It might not be a stove, maybe a compressor of some sort. And this is the door. I did a quick shot of that. We're coming back here to the base, and we're doing a nice light brown coating here to give it an earthy appearance. I'm going to come back in a couple different layers and do this in some browns and some greens, touch up that pipe work on the ground. Here's another quick cut. This is a little bit later on. I did some darkening to the colors with the pipe work and tried to give them a nice satin appearance to give them a little bit of a sheen, but I thought it turned out okay. Here we're working on a little bit more of the Poison Ivy pieces. Her hair is going to be red eventually. Start with a nice yellow base. Now we're touching up the actual foundation again. I'm coming back and doing some quick highlights with a brush, just touching up some of that orange paint, trying to give it some more details. Using the airbrush to get those type of details for me. I don't have the skill set, so we're just having fun here. So one of my friends is a big fan of the DC Comics, and he told me that Wonder Woman is an Amazonian, so that's what I was trying to go with, a little bit of a tanner look for Wonder Woman, and I tried to go with the light green and kind of go with a sparkly appearance for the Harley Quinn model. Now we're coming up with a bit of a light green touch, and we're just touching up some of these vines, doing a little hand painting. I've already touched up the skin and painted most of her flesh tone, so we're coming in here and trying to do some careful cuts in what we're showing. Again, just doing some hand touch-ups. I spent quite a bit of time trying to work on the vines on her leg and give them a nice natural appearance. I spent a lot of time on it, but in the end result, you'll have to see coming up. You can let me know what you think. Now, I took quite a break, and I came back and I started painting the faces, and Harley Quinn's face was one of the first ones I worked on, and then I went right to Wonder Woman's, and it had been a few weeks since I last painted, and I didn't really like how they turned out, but we just ran with it anyway. I said, they're done. Let's just move on and keep going. I was having fun. So I jumped on some other pieces here. I'm working on more of the air compressor again, just doing some touch-up to the wood. It looked like there was a wood panel in the back, so I wanted to highlight that. So we're coming back here and just, like I said, doing a little bit more touch-ups, trying to clean things up, and now I'm touching some of the wood up. I put on some masking on this model, so you'll see that I'm being a little aggressive with my paints, and that's because I had that mask there that I was going to peel off, which made painting a lot easier with those little cracks and crevices. And this is just the back of the compressor or the stove that we're touching up here. As you can see now with the roofs and the lids, we've done a little bit of gold highlighting. A few of the little pieces coming in place here. Now we went back to the base. We've done some touch-ups to the flowers. We worked on the orange pipe work, and now we're just coming in with some of that light green. I started with a dark green on the vines on the base and wanted it to blend in and match with Poison Ivy's feet, because she doesn't actually have feet on her model. They're actually built right into the foundation itself. Here we're coming up with some dark red, and we use some gold. As you can, if you notice there, the gold looks a little different. That's because I used an actual, I don't know if it's not really a paint. It's more like a texture that you apply, a gold texture. I wanted to give it a little more of a depth to her boots. So here I'm just coming up, and I touched up with a little bit of flowers, and now we're finally coming to the final display. This is when it's fully assembled. But I hope you like the model, and I appreciate you staying, and here's a little bonus treat.